my dear students, welcome back to your favorite channel NEET World. This is Vasavi Ma'am, your biology educator. Yes, so students, yes, so if we quickly revise, yes, so yes students, so before starting this session, okay, I just want to inform you about the special programs of our institute NEET World. Yes, so it's all about our institute NEET World, my dear students, where we have brought to you the 3 specialized programs, that is 2 steps to medicine. Yes, so this particular special program is especially for the 11th standard students. Yes, you can enroll and it's completely free. Okay, for 1 month you need to pay 3,333 rupees, my dear students. Yes, and next, 1 step to medicine, this is especially for the 12th standard students. Okay, yes, and the fee structure is 3,333 rupees per month. Yes, and power step to medicine, it is a repeater course where you need to, okay, if you want you can enroll just by paying 3,333 rupees, my dear students. Yes, so the fee structure of our institute NEET World is, it is completely affordable to all of you. Yes, so without wasting the time, if you utilize these particular chance by enrolling into these particular special programs of NEET World, then easily you can get the success in your NEET examination. Yes, yes students, so in the previous class, okay, yes, so we have started the type study of the Periplaneta americana of your first year zoology syllabus. Okay, so it is the 7th chapter of your zoology. Yes, so in the first session we have understood completely. Okay, so we have just learned about the external morphology of the cockroach. Yes students, so in the morphology of the cockroach we have just covered only 30%, my dear students. Okay, so still we need to learn more. Okay, so yes, okay, so we need to learn many things. Okay, so I can say just we have covered only 30% in the morphological part. So today, yes, so in the last session, so under the external morphology we have understood about the wings. Okay, we have understood about the wings, about the head, okay, and we have seen about the abdominal segments, right, my dear students. So only we have covered 30% in the morphological part. Okay, so remaining 70% of the morphological part is there to study, my dear students. Yes, so in this today's live session I am going to explain you completely all the morphology. Okay, so we are going to study completely about the external morphology of Periplaneta americana. Yes, so we have so we have understood about the classification of the cockroach. So here just you need to remember about the genus and the species. Okay, genus is the Periplaneta and the species is american. Okay, so just if you remember this, it will be enough, my dear students. And we have seen different variety of species in cockroach, right? Yes, so we have understood about the variety of species in cockroach. Yes, and we have also learned about its location and environment. And next one, we have covered in detail about its symmetry. Okay, so what is the symmetry exhibited by the cockroach, my dear students? So it is the bilateral symmetry. Okay, so just I am revising you all of you about the previous class. Okay, so in today's session what we are going to learn, I am going to give you the overview, my dear students. Yes, so we have understood about the bilateral symmetry, and the exoskeleton of the cockroach is made up of the cuticle. Okay, it is made up of the chitinous cuticle. Okay, so we are going to study about the exoskeleton part. Okay, yes, and it is a cursorial insect and it is a nocturnal and omnivorous insect. These all terms I have made you crystal clear. You can once again watch the previous live session of this particular chapter Periplaneta and americana. Okay, if you have any doubts. Yes, and next one, coming towards the morphology. Yes, so the body of the Periplaneta americana is divided into 3 parts. Okay, it is divided into 3 distinct parts: head, thorax and the abdomen. Yes, so when it comes to the head, okay, so when it comes to the head, so completely 1 to 6 segments are going to fuse to form a single segment. Okay, so this head, can you see? So the head of the cockroach is formed by the fusion of the 6 segments, okay, and it is going to give only one segment, okay, all completely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, all the segments are going to fuse to form a single segment to give the head, okay. And next we have understood about the thorax. Yes students, so in the thorax how many segments are going to be present, okay, 3 most important segment, okay, 7 segment, 8 segment and 9th segment are going to form the thorax. Yes, so from each thoracic segments the legs are going to arise, right. So the legs we are calling it as the prothoracic leg, mesothoracic leg and the metathoracic leg, and next we have also understood about the wings, right my dear students. So this is what we have learned in the previous live session. So coming towards the today's particular live session, I am going to explain you about the sense organs of Periplaneta americana, okay. So where we are going to learn about the body segments, head, okay, antennae, its mouth parts and next structure of the compound eyes, and next we are also going to learn about the legs, okay. So once if we have done with these particular morphological characteristics of the Periplaneta americana, next we are going to move towards the anatomical part where we will study different type studies, okay, like circulatory, respiratory, okay, reproductive system, digestive system, respiratory system, each and everything my dear students, okay. So after completing this particular morphology of the Periplaneta americana, yes, next we are going to look into the most important very short answer type of questions and few diagrammatic questions of this particular morphology students, okay. So first we need to finish it off the external morphological characteristics of the Periplaneta americana. Yes. So today I am going to start from the exoskeleton, okay. So after the exoskeleton, next we are going to look into the all the sense organs of the cockroach. Yes. So when I am going to discuss, okay, when we are going to discuss about the exoskeleton, okay. So first you need to understand about the segments, okay. Yes. So let me draw the simple hypothetical diagram of the cockroach. Yes. Okay. So this is going to form the head, and next one antennae, and these are the mouth parts, and next one it is going to have the flexible neck, okay. It is going to have the flexible neck which is going to show the movement, and these are going to form the thoracic segment, okay. 7th, 8th and 9th segments are going to form the thorax, okay. And next one completely 10 segments are going to be present in the abdomen, right. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, okay. So completely it is going to form the abdomen. Yes, so students, I have already made you clear regarding all these things, but before understanding the exoskeleton, first you need to understand the segments, okay. Later we are going to see how the exoskeleton is going to be formed in the cockroach. Yes, and this is the thorax. From each thoracic leg, the legs are going to be arised, okay. Yes. So now look into this. Yes, these are the segments, okay. So the exoskeleton of the cockroach, okay, each segments are made up of the chitinous plates, okay. So what is chitinous plates now? Look into this. So each segment is surrounded by the chitinous plates. Yes. So suppose imagine it is as one of the segment, okay. Yes. So the each segment of the Periplaneta americana is made up of the chitinous plates, okay. That plates are called as sclerites. So students, this particular concept, okay. So it is very most important, okay. It is from the exoskeleton we may expect the questions for NEET as well, okay. So in the exoskeleton, each segment is surrounded by the sclerites, okay. So what are sclerites, my dear students? These are the chitinous plates, okay. Each segment is surrounded by the, yes, these particular plates, okay. We have seen in the abdominal segments completely 10 segments, okay. When it comes to the thorax, only 3 segments are present, okay. When it comes to the head, 1 to 6 segments are fused to give only single segment which will form the head, right. So now each and every segment is going to contain these plates, okay. That name is called as sclerites, right. So now these sclerites, okay, these sclerites, the plates, okay, these chitinous plates are present in the cockroach on the dorsal side as well as on the ventral side, okay, yes. So before understanding, just look into these particular, yes. So can you see this cockroach? Yes. So on the dorsal side and on the ventral side, it is completely made up of these sclerites. So the segment, okay, so the plate which is present on the dorsal side, yes. So I am going to make this particular concept here itself clear, my dear students, yes. So the plate, okay, so the chitinous plate present on the dorsal side, it means on the back side of the cockroach, okay. See, this is one segment of the Periplaneta americana, yes. So this is one segment. So for this particular segment, okay, so it is surrounded by the dorsal segment, okay. So the dorsal plate of the Periplaneta americana, that is called as, yes. So this is one segment it is going to form, yes. Let me choose the different colors, by that it becomes easy to you, my dear students, yes. So this is one plate on the top, and next one, this will be the second plate, this will be the side plates, yes, okay. So this is the structure and it is a view of the single segment, my dear students. So now this particular segment is surrounded by the chitinous plates. So the plate which is present on the dorsal side in the sense, so this is a cockroach, so the dorsal side is the back side of the cockroach, okay. So it is a back view of the cockroach, and the ventral side, okay, and the ventral surface will be the front portion, my dear students, okay. So here the things whatever we can see from the external side, it is the dorsal side, okay. So the portion whatever we are going to see on the cockroach, it is the dorsal surface, and all the parts which we can't see, okay, so that is going to form the ventral side, okay. So the portion which we can see is the dorsal view, and the portion and the parts which we can't see is the ventral view of the cockroach, clear. So now we are talking about the exoskeleton, right. So in the exoskeleton, it is made up of the chitinous plates called as sclerites, and the chitinous plate which is present on the dorsal side. Can you see this blue colored structure? So this is the chitinous plate present on the dorsal side of the cockroach. So now this particular plate, okay, it is called as yes. So it is called as tergite, okay. So it is called as the tergite, okay. The segment which is present on the, yes, the segment which is present on the dorsal side, and on the ventral side also we can see one chitinous plate, that is called as sternite, okay. So simply we can also call it as tergum and the sternum, okay. What is tergite, my dear students? So the chitinous plate which is present on the dorsal side of the cockroach, and the sternite is the ventral surface of the segment, okay, the chitinous plate which is present on the ventral surface. So now on the sides, okay, we can also see the chitinous plates on the sides of the cockroach. So what it is called as pleurite, okay. So tergite, sternite and pleurite, okay. Instead of it we can also call it as a tergum, sternum and the pleurite or pleura also, my dear students. So clear with the exoskeleton. So in the exoskeleton, each segment is surrounded by the chitinous plates, that plates are called as the sclerites, and the chitinous plate, the plates which are present on the dorsal side is called as tergite, and the chitinous plate which is present on the ventral side of the cockroach is called as sternite, okay. And the chitinous plates present on the sides of the cockroach, okay. On the sides of the cockroach, what it is called? Yes, it is called as the pleurite, or else we can also call it as the pleura. Yes, clear, my dear students. It is completely about the exoskeleton, okay. So in the exoskeleton, so now can you see the gaps in between each segment, okay. So we can find the gap in between these two chitinous plates, and we can also find the small space in between these two chitinous plates, okay. So now all these chitinous plates, okay, all the exoskeleton chitinous plates are joined by the membrane, okay. Yes, let me choose another color for the membrane. Yes, so yes, red color, yes, white, okay. Yes, So all these chitinous plates are joined by the flexible movable membrane. Okay, so that is called as arthroidal membrane. Yes, yes, let me write here. Yes, arthroidal membrane. Clear, my dear students? So from this particular concept you are going to get the questions for NEET. So clear with this particular concept, the exoskeleton. Okay, so suppose if I am going to place this cockroach in a box. Okay, so suppose when we are going to put this cockroach in any box or else in any other container, then what happens, it is unable to move. Okay, so it can't move very freely. Okay, so it can't move freely. Okay, but because due to the presence of the arthroidal membrane, so due to the presence of the flexible movable arthroidal membrane, it can show the movement. Okay, so these are the chitinous plates. Okay, only if the chitinous plates are joined one another continuously, then it can't show the movement. Okay, but in between the each and every plate, in between the dorsal plate and in between the tergite and in between the sternite, so these all are joined one another by the membrane called as, most important, arthroidal membrane, which will help in the easy free movement to the cockroach. Okay, so this is about completely the exoskeleton of the cockroach. Yes. So clear, my dear students? So all the online students, let me understand whether you are clear with this particular concept. Yes. So now we are going to look into the sense organs of the cockroach. Yes. Let's get started without any delay, my dear students. Yes. So now we will understand about the we will understand about the complete sense organs of the cockroach. Okay. Yes. So under the sense organs of the cockroach, we are going to learn about the head of the cockroach. Next, we will understand about the eyes of the cockroach, antennae of the cockroach, and next one, abdomen, and next wings. Okay, and the most important part is legs. Okay, so we need to cover each and everything in depth, my dear students. Okay, for the IPE as well as for the NEET. Okay, so from the external morphology completely you are going to get 7 number of questions. Yes. So completely how many questions we are going to expect from the only from the morphological part. Okay, so only from the morphology 7 VSAQs. Okay, 7 questions of very short answer type of questions, especially for the very short. Okay, only for 2 marks 7 questions are there in your standard textbooks. Okay, so to answer each and every question we need to be in thorough with the morphological part. Okay, and next one, this complete external morphology is also important for the NEET as well. Okay, because you are going to get the questions from the segmentation, and few of the diagrammatic questions may also expect from this external morphology itself. Okay, so I am going to make a clarity to all of you. Yes. So now without any delay, let's get started with the sense organs of the cockroach. So before learning that, in the so in these particular sense organs, first we need to give high priority to the head. Okay, so first we are going to start with the head of the cockroach. Yes. So head of the cockroach, can you see clearly? You can see in this particular image how actually the head is present over here. Okay, so the head of the cockroach is triangular in nature. So under these sense organs, okay, so under these body parts of the cockroach, okay, so under the head, what we are going to learn? Okay, we are going to look into the eyes of the cockroach. Okay, we are going to learn about the eyes of the cockroach, and next one we will learn about the antennae of the cockroach, and next we will learn about the most important thing for IPE, mouth parts of the cockroach, my dear students. Okay, so after mouth parts of the cockroach, we are going to look into the structure of the ommatidium, and most important, the legs of the cockroach. Okay, yes. So first, without any delay, we are going to start from the head of the cockroach. So now look into this particular slide and this particular visual, and just answer me. Already in the previous live session I have explained you why the head of the cockroach is called as hypognathous. Yes. So why the head of the cockroach is called as the hypognathous? Can any one of you answer? Those are watching in online. Yes. Okay. So the head of the cockroach is called as hypognathous because it is going to be placed. Okay. Just observe here, my dear students. Yes. So the head of the cockroach is called as hypognathus and it is perpendicular to the body wall. Okay. So suppose if consider me as a cockroach, okay. So yes, so the head of the cockroach is completely placed downwards. Okay. So it is completely placed like downwards and it is perpendicular to the body wall. Okay. So that is the reason the head of the cockroach is called as hypognathus, because it is going to hang downwards and it is triangular in nature and it is almost perpendicular to the abdomen. Okay. So it is very most important answer for your very short answer type of question. Yes. So easy to remember my dear students. So it is triangular and it is called as hypognathus because it is going to lie towards the perpendicular to the body wall and it is placed at the right angles to the body wall. Okay. And next one, under the head only we are going to learn about each and everything my dear students. Okay. We need to study under the parts of head itself. We need to understand about the eyes of the cockroach, and next one we need to learn about the antennae, and next mouth parts of the cockroach. Yes. So when it comes to the IPE point of view, okay, when it comes to the only intermediate public examinations, okay, just give high priority to the diagrammatic view of mouth parts. Okay, only diagram. Okay, it is a damn sure question we can expect in the board examinations. Okay, and you will get this particular question for 4 marks. Okay, yes. But when it comes to the NEET level, okay, when it comes to the NEET examination, then along with the diagram, theory is also most important my dear students. Okay. So you need to learn, okay, you need to cover for NEET point of view theory as well as diagram my dear students. Okay. So because based on the diagrammatic parts also you are going to get the questions. But if you want to score the 4 marks directly, then just practice the diagram. Okay, no need to run and no need to be in thorough with the theory. Yes. So now we will look into the, yes. So now we are going to understand each and every part. So first we will understand about the antennae. Okay. So we will understand about the antennae of the cockroach. Yes. So look into this. So first, what are antennae? Okay. So look into this my dear students. So the cockroach is going to have the kidney shaped eyes. Okay. So it is going to have the kidney shaped eyes. So below the eyes, it is going to have the sockets from which the antenna are going to arise. So can you see? So these are the large sockets. Okay. So that we can't see, but the sockets are somewhat larger in size, and from these sockets it is going to arise. Okay. It is going to give the antennae, which are called as the sensory organs. Okay. So it can sense the type of food, and it can sense and it can mainly receive the signals my dear students. Okay. So it receives the signals. So the best example is whenever the weather conditions are not good and due to heavy rain, sometimes we cannot receive the signals in our television. Okay. So we cannot see all the telecast and everything. So once if we are going to adjust the antenna, okay, then we can easily get the some telecast and all the things in our television, right? So same in that way, the antenna are present in the cockroach, which are useful especially for receiving the signals. Okay. So and the antenna are segmented. Okay. Can you see small segments here my dear students? Yes. So these are segmented. Okay. So the antenna are segmented and these are especially involved in receiving the signals. And next one, see, segmented antennae have olfactory and tactile receptors. Okay. So students, the cockroach is, okay, so it is one of the most intelligent creature and many sense organs are developed for this cockroach. Okay. So mainly the antenna are going to have 2 main types of receptors. Okay. 2 special types of receptors, that is olfactory receptors and tactile receptors. Okay. So these are the 2 receptors which are present in the antennae of the cockroach. Okay. So now let us understand why these receptors are present and in which they are going to help. Okay. So see here, olfactory receptors are going to sense the smell of the food. Okay. So these 2 are the antenna, right? So these antenna are going to detect the smell of the food, whether the food is where the food is located and which type of food it is. Okay, so actually it is going to sense the smell of the food. Okay, same like us, how we are going to do and how we are going to smell each and everything, we are going to smell the type of food, no. So same in that way the antennae are helpful for the cockroach to detect the smell of the food. And next coming towards the tactile receptors. Okay, so what are tactile receptors, in which they are useful? So the tactile receptors are helpful in identifying the type of food. Okay, so these are useful in the identification of the which type of food actually it is. Okay, so it can identify any type of food, my dear students, and it can eat any type of food, hence that is the reason it is called as omnivorous insect, right. So the tactile receptors are helpful in identifying the types of food, whether the food is whether the food present in our kitchen is, whether it is a sweet, whether it is a hot, whether it is a vegetable, whatever it may be, the tactile receptors present in the cockroach are helpful in identification whether which type of food actually it is. Okay, and it is also going to be helpful in, okay, and the tactile receptors are also used for identifying the place of food. Okay, so where actually it is located. Okay, so suppose if these are the antenna. Okay, so these antenna will detect where the food is located actually. Okay, so it is always involved in searching the food. Okay, so it is always involved in the searching the food, and wherever it is going to find the food, then easily it is going to run towards that particular location and it is going to eat it. Okay, and next one, it detects the source of the food. Okay, so same as we have discussed just now. So this is about the completely antennae of the cockroach. Okay, so these are usually segmented. Clearly you can observe here, my dear students. Okay, so clearly we can see the segments of the antennae. And next one, yes, so it is mainly going to contain two receptors. Okay, what are the olfactory and the tactile receptors, right, my dear students. Okay, so the olfactory receptors, these are just involved in smelling the food. But coming towards the tactile receptors, it is helpful in identification of the which type of food actually it is. Okay, and it is also useful for identification of the source of the food. Yes, so next coming towards the eyes. Yes, so most important thing, my dear students, yes, put a star mark for this. Yes, eyes of the cockroach. Yes, so when we are going to learn about the eyes of the cockroach. Okay, so can you see here, my dear students, so the eyes of the cockroach are large kidney shaped in structure. Okay, so these are large kidney shaped in structure, and each eye is going to contain some hexagonal units. Okay, so suppose this is the eyes of the cockroach. Okay, yes, so here can you see this black colored eyes, okay, which are kidney shaped. Okay, so each eye is going to contain a many number of hexagonal units. It means this each eye is going to have these hexagonal units. Okay, yes. So in this way it is going to have many number of hexagonal units. Okay, so the range of the hexagonal units are going to range from 2000. Okay, so completely 2000 hexagonal units are present in each eye of the cockroach, my dear students. Yes, so you need to learn and you need to wait until the session gets end, because these particular external morphology is very easy to understand and you are going to get many number of questions from this particular session itself, my dear students. Okay, so understand each and everything. When it comes to the structure of the eyes, here again we may expect the 4 marker type of question for damn sure. Okay, so completely in this chapter only 2 4 marker questions we can expect. One is mouth parts of the cockroach, and one more answer is structure of the compound eyes of the Periplaneta americana. Okay, so these 2 are the damn sure questions we can expect in the examination. Yes, so each and every concept is important. Stay tuned with the patience. Okay, yes. So these are the kidney shaped eyes present in the cockroach, and each eye, okay, each eye of the cockroach, okay, not minds, each eye of the cockroach is going to contain some units. Okay, in which shape actually they are? These are the hexagonal units. So how many hexagonal units are present? 2000 hexagonal units are present in each eye of the cockroach. Okay, so can you see? So hence it is called as a compound eye. Yes, so that is the reason the eyes of the cockroach, okay, the eyes of the cockroach are called as compound eyes. Okay. So, now we will see how the image is formed in the cockroach. Yes. So, when it comes to the vision, okay, so compound vision forms many images in one time. Okay. So, hence it is called as the mosaic vision. So, what it is actually? Okay. So, usually we can see the things at only one time. Okay. One time we can view clearly only one particular type of image, my dear students. Okay. So, suppose if I am looking into the camera, I can see only and I can only focus on the camera, but what it is there behind me. Okay. I can't see the lights present over here, I can't see the benches present over here. I am going to know something is present behind me and forward to me, but I am not going to understand how clearly what it is present here and there in surrounding towards me, right, my dear students. So, we can see one image correctly and properly only once. Okay. So, but when it comes to the cockroach, okay, when it comes to the cockroach, due to the presence of the compound eyes, it can form many number of images. Okay. As we have seen here, it is made up of completely 2000 hexagonal units, right. So, completely the ommatidium, each ommatidium, okay, so it is the structure of the ommatidium. Okay. So, each compound eye is made up of 2000 hexagonal units, and the 2000 hexagonal units of each eye is called as what, my dear students? Ommatidiums. Okay. Yes, clear. So, now what is the function of the ommatidium? How actually the cockroach is going to form the image? Okay. So, as I have said that we can focus the things properly and once at a time. Okay. We cannot cover each and every images at a time. Okay. So, when I am going to look forward to all of you, I can't see what is present behind me. Okay. So, when I am going to look into the right side, I am unable to see what it is present on the left side. Okay. So, I am going to get the idea that something is present, but we can't see until we are going to view into that particular structure itself, right, my dear students? Yes. But when it comes to the cockroach, it can create many number of images. It can create at a time 2000 number of images at a time, my dear students. Okay. So, it can see and it can sense the images frontward. Okay. So, on the top of me, whatever it is there, it can sense from the left side, from the right side. So, it is going to create 2000 visuals. Okay. Yes. To understand you better, yes, let me take the example. So, here it is going to see a rat. Okay. So, imagine just it is as a rat, okay, or else something, any insect. Okay. So, now this particular cockroach is going to eat this particular rat. Okay. So, whenever it is going to look into this particular rat, okay, so one ommatidium is going to form the image of the ears of the rat, and next one ommatidium structure, one hexagonal ommatidium structure in the cockroach is going to form one visual of the tail of the rat, and another ommatidium is going to form the another structure of the rat. So, it is going to create some multiple images, okay, some multiple 2000 images, but all the images are not clear. Okay. All the hexagonal units are going to form 2000 images, and it is going to form only one clear image. Okay. Clear with this particular concept, my dear students? So, like that it can create, so each eye is going to have 2000 hexagonal units. Okay. So, the two eyes are going to have completely 4000 hexagonal units. Okay. So, this is most important, that is the reason I have explained you in detail, my dear students. Yes. So, look here. So, see vision present, okay, the type of vision exhibited by the cockroach is compound vision. Okay. It means it is going to form many images at a time, and all the images are going to form a one clear and one mosaic image, that is called as the compound vision. Okay. Compound vision in the sense, due to the presence of the hexagonal units, it is going to create many number of images. Okay. So, not only cockroach, the house fly, and the next one mosquito, all these insects are going to recognize at a time the images which are present in our surroundings. Okay. So, it can see it can create the image of the right side, it can create the image of the left side, it can see what it is present on the top, what is present on the bottom, each and everything, my dear students. So, that is the reason whenever we are going to kill the mosquito, okay, whenever any mosquito is going to bite us, whenever we are going to try to kill that particular mosquito, it is going to escape very fast, my dear students. Okay, so all these things, okay, all these insects are very smarter than us. Okay, so due to the presence of the compound vision, it creates many images. Yes, so but it shows high sensitivity and low resolution. So this is important for NEET. Okay, so the type of the resolution is very low in cockroaches. Okay, yes. So and it shows the high sensitivity. High sensitivity in the sense it can understand. Yes, it can understand first itself what it is happening. Okay, so in your daily life also you can observe, my dear students, when any cockroach is going to pass. Okay, if you want to kill it, just you just place your hand in this manner. Okay, so easily it is going to create the image of this particular thing. Okay, whatever you are using to kill it. Okay, easily it creates the image and fastly it is going to run. Okay, so that is the reason it is going to exhibit the high sensitivity, but the resolution is very low. Okay, but at a time, okay, once it can't see the clear image, it requires 2000 hexagonal units to form the complete image of one particular structure. Okay, yes. So this is about the eyes of the cockroach. So now here comes the most important and damn sure diagrammatic answer for your IP. Yes. So that is structure of the ommatidium. Okay, yes. So when it comes to the theoretical part, yes. So students, when it comes to the theory of the structure of the ommatidium, okay, you no need to by heart and you no need to learn for the IP point of view. Just you can focus on the diagrammatic view. Okay, so this is the damn sure question for 4 marks. Okay, so there is no doubt to skip this particular diagram. Okay, yes. So it is made up of, first only look into the parts whatever I am explaining here, my dear students. So in the IPE, just practice the diagram and just label the parts properly and draw this particular diagram very neatly, my dear students. Okay, then easily you can score the 4 marks. Yes, but when it comes to the NEET point of view, you no need to get stressed and you no need to learn this, my dear students, but for your better understanding I am making you clear. Yes, so first learn the parts of this ommatidium structure. Yes, so it is going to exhibit the following main parts, that is cornea. Yes, so it is going to show the cornea, and next one cone cells. Okay, next corneagen cells, next retinular cells, and next one rhabdom. Okay, so these 5 are most important. Okay, so now we will understand the main role of each and every part. Okay, so once look into the cornea. Yes, so the cornea is a biconvex structure. Okay, it is a very transparent and biconvex structure. It is made up of hexagonal facet. Okay, it means it is going to show the hexagonal facet. Okay, so this is the structure of the cornea. Okay, now what is the main function of the cornea, my dear students? So it is going to receive the signals from the light. Okay, so it is just going to receive the light. And next one, when it comes to the corneagen cells, so where the corneagen cells are present, these are present exactly below the cornea. Okay, so exactly below the cornea, 2 corneagen cells we can find. Okay, so the corneagen cells are going to secrete the cornea. So clear? All 3 different types of structures, cornea, corneagen cells and cone cells, they are helpful in receiving the light. Okay, they are going to helpful in receiving the light to form the vision. Okay, next coming towards the cone cells. Okay, so generally 4 cone cells are present, my dear students. Okay, 4 cone cells. Can you see here? So these are all the 4 cone cells, 1, 2, 3 and 4. All these 4 cone cells, okay, all the 4 cone cells are surrounded by the crystalline cone. Can you see? Yes, this is the crystalline cone. Okay, yes. So all the 4 cone cells are surrounded by the crystalline cones. And next one, when it comes to the retinular cells, so the completely 7 number of cells are present in the retinular cells, my dear students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. All these 7 retinular cells are going to fuse and they are going to form the rhabdom. Can you see this? Yes. So this is the rhabdom. Okay, yes. So this is just about the structure of the ommatidium. Okay, just you need to represent the diagrammatic view for the IPE point of view, but when it comes to the NEET point of view, just understand about the type of vision. Okay, the type of the compound vision is going to be exhibited by the cockroach. Okay, and it is going to contain 2000 hexagonal units, that is called as ommatidium. And next one you need to remember, it exhibits high sensitivity, but the power of resolution is very low. Okay, so this particular diagrammatic point of view, we cannot expect in the NEET, but just understand what are cornea, corneagen cells, rhabdom and retinular cells. Okay, so the cornea is, it is a biconvex transparent structure which will receive the light. Okay, below the cornea we can see the corneagen cells which will help and which will secrete the cornea. And next one, cone cells are usually 4 in number. So these are actually surrounded by the crystalline cone cells. Okay, and next one, the number of cells in the retinula is 7. Okay, so all the retinular cells are going to fuse and they will form the rhabdom. Okay, the rhabdom and the retinular cells are going to contain the photoreceptors. Okay, so all these together will create the mosaic image for the cockroach. Yes. So clear, my dear students. So now without any delay, let's get started with the mouth parts of the cockroach. Yes. So whatever I am explaining you, definitely you are going to get the questions for 2 marks as well as the 4 marks, my dear students. So now these particular mouth parts of the cockroach is a damn sure question for 4 marks. Yes. So when it comes to the diagrammatic representation of the answers, only 2 diagrams you need to focus. Okay, structure of the ommatidium and the mouth parts of the cockroach. Yes. So students, this is completely about the mouth parts of the cockroach. So under the mouth parts of the cockroach, what you need to study? Okay, so under the mouth parts of the cockroach, you need to understand about the maxillary palps. Okay, and next you need to understand about the mandibles. Yes, yes, mandibles, and next one maxillae, and next you need to understand about labrum and labium. Okay, so what are all these parts actually, how they are going to helpful for the cockroach? Okay, so all the complete mouth parts of the cockroach are in the type of biting and chewing type, my dear students. Okay, so the cockroach can easily grasp and it can easily sense the food, it can eat the food and it can bite and chew the type of food. Okay, so how this complete process is going to happen in the sense by the involvement of all these different parts. So now we will understand what is labrum. Okay, so the labrum is, yes, so it is the triangular. Yes, let me choose another color. Yes. So students, the labrum is the yes, it is a rectangular. Yes, it is a rectangular structure. Okay, we can also call it as upper lip. Okay, yes. So the labrum is also called as the upper lip of the cockroach. Okay, yes. So it is also called as the upper lip of the cockroach, and it is rectangular in nature and it is movable, my dear students. Okay, yes. And next one, mandibles. Okay, so on the left and on the right side, mandibles are present. Okay, so what is the main function of the mandibles? So mandibles are going to contain teeth like structures. Okay, so it is going to contain the teeth like structures called as denticles. Okay, so the mandibles are helpful for crushing and they are helpful for digesting the food, my dear students. Okay, so continuously, so just imagine, so these are the mandibles, okay, which are present on both the sides. So the main function of the mandibles is they are going to break the food. Okay, they are going to chew the food and they are going to break the larger food particles into the simpler ones. Okay, suppose if these are all the food particles which are going to come in contact to the mouth parts of the cockroach, so immediately, so usually we are going to have the upper jaw and the lower jaw, but when it comes to the cockroach, they are going to have the mandible side. Okay, so whenever it is going to see any food particles, so continuously it is going to crush. Okay, so continuously it is going to break the food particles. Okay, so clear with the mandibles? Yes. So this is one of the confusion type of diagram, my dear students, but when it comes to the IPE point of view, always try to remember the labeling parts. Okay, so the labeling parts are most important. Okay, so the mandibles easily you can draw. Okay, mandibles easily you can draw, one on the right side and one on the left side, and in the middle a rectangular movable labrum, which is also called as the, yes, upper lip, right. So now we will understand about the hypopharynx. So what is hypopharynx? What is hypopharynx, my dear students? So it is simply called as the tongue of the cockroach. Okay, yes. So yes. So it is also called as the tongue of the cockroach. Yes. So usually it is also called as hypopharynx or tongue. Okay. But now from here, focus from these, my dear students. So labrum is the upper lip. Okay, labrum is the upper lip of the cockroach. Okay, so after that, on the right and left side we have the mandibles, which will help in continuous crushing of the food. Okay, next, lower lip. What is the lower lip is called? It is called as labium. Yes. So the lower part or else the lower lip of the cockroach is called as the labium. So the lower lip is called as what, my dear students? Labium. Okay. So now focus. The labium is going to contain three most important parts. Okay, labium is going to contain three most important parts. See here, it is made up of submentum. So students, the diagrammatic view here, it might be not clear, but it is given in your standard textbooks. Just go through it. Okay, so there is no chance to skip this particular diagrammatic presentation. Okay, we can expect damn sure for 4 marks. Okay, so no need to learn complete theory, just focus on the diagrammatic part, right. So the labium is made up of three most important parts. Okay, those are called as submentum. Okay, next one, prementum and mentum. Okay, submentum, prementum and mentum. Okay, so now these are the, so now what we have left, my dear students? Yes, all of you just quickly answer me next about what we need to study. Okay, mandibles completed, labium. Okay, labrum is the upper lip, labium is the lower lip, mandibles are meant for the crushing of the food, and next one we have left with the maxillae. Okay, yes, we will understand what are maxillae now. Okay, so look into this, my dear students. Generally we have two different maxillary palps. Okay, two different maxillary palps. Okay, first maxillary pulp and second maxillary pulp. Okay, so now most of the students, where you are going to commit the mistake when you are going to draw this particular diagram is in the segmentation of the pulps. Okay, so completely, so this is the first maxillary pulp. Okay, once if you are going to refer to your standardized textbook, there you are going to understand. So completely these are made up of 5. Okay, so completely 5 maxillary palps will arise from the palpifer. Okay, so from the palpifer, how many maxillary palps will arise, my dear students? 5. Okay, so coming towards the second maxillary palps, how many maxillary palps will arise? Yes, so 1, 2 and 3. Okay, yes, no need to learn about the glossa, okay, paraglossa and each and everything. Just for the diagrammatic point of view, just remember all these segments. Okay, just try to answer and try to label this completely. Okay, first maxillary palps and second maxillary palps. So now completely the mouth parts of the cockroach are biting and chewing type, and these maxillary palps are used. Okay, these are regarded as the sensory organs in cockroach. Okay, so these are helpful for catching the food. Okay, these are helpful for catching the food, and sometimes these are also helpful for cleaning the legs of the cockroach. Clear, my dear students? Is there any doubts? Please let me know in the comment section. Yes, if you have any if you have any doubts regarding this particular answer, just let me know in the comment sections, my dear students. Yes, so once again I am just suggesting to all of you, so it is just important for IPE, not complete theory, my dear students. Okay, only diagram. Okay, first make the diagrammatic view of the labrum, and next one mandibles, 2 in number, and next one labium, which is called as lower lip. From the lower lip, what is going to arise? Okay, next one maxillae. From the here we need to study first maxillae and second maxillary palps. Okay, so what are palps actually, my dear students? These are the structures which are involved in sensing. Okay, these are the sensory organs. Okay, first maxillary pulp and second maxillary palp. First maxillary palp is going to arise from the palpi-4, which is going to contain, okay, 5 segments. When it comes to the second maxillary palp, 1, 2 and 3. Okay. When it comes to the labium, 3 important compartments you need to study: promentum, mentum and submentum. Clear? Yes. So now we will understand about the legs of the cockroach. Okay, most important for NEET point of view. Okay, so in the NEET we may expect the question in the diagrammatic view, my dear students. Okay, they may give the legs. Okay, they may give the legs of the cockroach, and sometimes they are going to give you the labeling parts. Okay, they are going to give you the missing labeling parts of the leg. Okay, so you need to give a proper labelings to the legs. Okay, so all these diagrammatic point of view you need to understand. So we may expect sometimes the questions in NEET regarding the legs of the cockroach. Yes, so now we will understand. It is very easy, my dear students. Yes, so all the online students, yes, so all the online students, first just quickly confirm, and in the previous class we have learned about the legs of the cockroach. Yes. So from where the legs are going to arise, can any one of you answer me in the comment section? Yes. So from which segments the legs of the cockroach are going to arise? Yes, quickly let me know in the comment section. I have given you a complete detailed view how the wings are going to arise, how the legs are going to arise from the cockroach. Yes. So this is completely whatever we are discussing in detail, it is about the structural organization in animals, my dear students. Okay. So in the structural organization in animals, we are going to cover only the Periplaneta americana. Okay. So its complete morphological view as well as its complete anatomical view. Okay. And along with this, we need to study in detail about the frog. Okay. Yes. So now quickly answer me, all the online students, from where the legs of the cockroaches are going to arise. Okay, from where the legs of the cockroach are going to arise. Yes, already we have seen very clearly. Yes, let me explain you, my dear students. So generally 3 pairs of legs are going to be arise from the cockroach. Okay, so the 3 pairs of legs are going to be arise from the thorax part. Okay, so in the thorax we can find 7th segment, 8th segment and 9th segment, right? So from the 7th segment, yes, so to understand I am going to, yes, so I am going to explain you more better by taking the example of this particular cockroach, my dear students. Yes, just a minute. Yes, so now look into this particular ventral view of the cockroach. Okay, what it is, what the ventral view, my dear students? So the all the parts which we can't see, those are the ventral side of the cockroach, and the things whatever we are going to observe directly in the cockroach, so that will be the dorsal part. Yes, so generally 3 types of legs. 3 types of legs are going to be arised, and those are 3 pairs. Okay. Yes, prothoracic leg, okay, prothoracic leg, mesothoracic leg and metathoracic leg. Okay, which is the 7th segment, 8th segment and 9th segments of thoracic part. Okay, so from the thorax completely we are going to have, okay, so the 1 to 6 segments are going to form what, my dear students? Yes, 1 to 6 segments. Okay, so 1 to 6 segments of the cockroach. Okay, the 1 to 6 segments are completely going to fuse and they will form only one segment, that is it is going to give the head. Okay, pronotum, mesonotum and metanotum. Okay, so completely the pronotum is going to fuse with the head of the cockroach. So now we are going to talk about the just legs, my dear students. Okay, it is simple to understand, just focus. Yes, prothorax, mesothorax and metathorax. Okay, so from each thoracic segment 1 pair of legs are going to be arised. Okay, so from the prothorax we can see 2 legs. Okay, and from the mesothorax, yes, and from the mesothorax 2 legs, and from the metathorax 2 legs we can see. Okay, so these are also called as prolegs, mesolegs and metalegs. Okay, this already we have discussed. So now we need to understand the different parts in the leg. Okay, so just now whatever I have explained, this already we have done, my dear students. So all the online students who want to understand about all the thorax, abdomen and the head, once again you can watch the live session in our YouTube channel NEET World. Yes. So, now look here, these are the different parts in the leg. Okay. So, you will get sometimes we may expect the questions regarding the labeling parts. So, generally here we can see coxa, okay, trochanter, femur, tibia, tarsus and pretarsus. But the question you are going to get is, they will give few of the labeling parts and they are going, yes, sometimes few of the labeling parts will be missed. Okay. So, you need to identify the missed labeling parts in the examination point of view for NEET. Okay. For IP it is not at all important, but the thing you need to understand is the locomotion of the cockroach in rough surfaces and the smooth surfaces. Okay. So, I am going to make a clarity to all of you, my dear students. So, before that we will understand all the different parts. Yes. So, look here. Yes, students. Yes. So, generally 3 pairs of legs arises from each thoracic segment. Okay, we have understood. So, now focus on the parts whatever I am going to underline here. Okay, coxa. Okay, what it is, my dear students? Yes. So, coxa is the main part which is going to arise, which is going to attach to the thorax part. Okay, which is going to arise, which is going to attach to the thoracic part. Okay. So, generally in the thorax we have 3 segments, right? So, this coxa will attach, the coxa is going to helpful in attachment of the leg to the thoracic segment. Okay, that may be either prothorax, mesothorax or metathorax. And next one, here we can see the movable part. Okay. So, yes, so this is the movable part. So, that is called as trochanter. Okay. So, this is the movable part in between the femur. So, to this movable part, to the trochanter, what it is going to be attached, my dear students? Femur. So, okay, how we are going to have the femur? So, same cockroaches are also going to exhibit the femur. Yes. So, yes. So, now in between the femur and the coxa, there is a movable part that is called as the trochanter, right? And next one, from the femur, the next part is going to be arise, that is called as tibia. Okay. So, after the tibia, tarsus. So, here can you observe, my dear students, phylum Arthropoda. Okay. So, all the members of the phylum Arthropoda are called as jointed appendages because they have the segments in the legs. Okay. So, all the legs are connected to one another by the jointing appendages. Okay. So, it is going to have the joints. So, how we are going to have tarsals, metatarsals and everything. So, same in that way they are going to show the joints. Okay. So, that is the reason these are called as the jointed appendages. Okay. Yes. And next one, it is the tarsus, and before to this, okay, we can find the pretarsus. Okay. Right, my dear students. So, now understand here. So, after tarsus we can find the pretarsus. What it is actually? Yes. So, see here, the tarsus is formed. Okay. Can you see? Yes. Let me clear this. By that it becomes easy to understand, my dear students. Yes. So, the tarsus is formed by 5 segments again, 5 small units. So, can you see here? Yes. So, this complete tarsus is formed by these 5 segments. Okay. Not segments, we can say 5 small units. Okay. So, all these units, yes. So, all these units, in between these units we can find few structures in this way. We can find some padded structures. Okay. So, now this is called as plantulae. Yes, my dear students. So, these are called as plantulae. Okay. Just focus. At the end of the leg we can see claws. Okay. We can find the claws at the end of the claws. Yes, end of the legs. Okay. So, these are the claws. So, let me make clear, my dear students. So, these are the claws. From here the legs will arise. At the end of the leg we can find the claws, right? And these claws are helpful for the cockroach to walk and to run on the soft surfaces. Okay. So, the claws is going to helpful for the cockroach to run on the soft surfaces, but when it comes to the rough surfaces, okay, if the cockroach want to walk on the rough surface, what we need, my dear students? Yes. So, we required aeroleum. V in the sense cockroach, okay, not me, cockroach. Yes, so here we can see the aerolium, okay, yes, okay. So the aerolium is the soft padded like structure, okay. So aerolium is the padded like structure attached to the claws. This aerolium will helpful for the cockroach to run on the rough surfaces, okay. Aerolium will helpful for the walking or else running on the rough surfaces, and the claws will helpful to run on the smooth surfaces. Yes, clear with this particular slide and clear with the legs of the cockroach, my dear students. So coxa, what it is actually? Coxa is going to attach the legs to the thoracic segments, and in between the femur and coxa we can find the movable part, that is called as trochanter, okay. Next femur is the tibia is going to join to the femur and tarsus is going to join to the tibia, okay. So completely 5 jointed appendages we can see, okay. What are those? Coxa, femur, trochanter, tibia and tarsus, okay. Just now whatever we have seen, all the 5 subunits, those are called as pretarsus. Yes, yes, clear with this particular slide, my dear students? Yes. So hope this session is useful to all of you, my dear students. Yes. So here comes the most interesting and important news to all of you, that is completely about our institute NEET world. Yes, yes, my dear students. So it is about the NEET special programs. Yes. So in our institute we are conducting this special type of programs. Yes. So 2 steps to medicine, where the 11th standard students can enroll just for 3333, okay. So for 1 month you need to pay this amount, and next coming towards the 1 step to medicine, it is completely for the students of 12th standard students, okay. So here the fee structure is same, okay, 33 and 33, okay, 3,333 rupees for 1 month, okay. So it is completely online mode, my dear students. If you want to join for the long term, or else if you want to join for 2 steps to medicine or 1 steps to medicine, you can contact to the given number below here. And next one, power step to medicine, where it is called as a repeaters course. Yes, so this is also completely for 3333 fee structure, okay. Yes, so stay tuned for the next upcoming live session. We have done with the complete morphology, complete external morphology of Periplaneta americana. Yes, and next we are going to understand about the anatomical part of the cockroach, okay. So from here each and everything is important, my dear students, okay. So the external morphology is somewhat elaborated, but it is easy to understand. But next we are going to learn about the anatomical part of the cockroach, where we will study most interesting type studies like, yes, respiratory system, digestive system, reproductive system of both male and female, and many other things. Yes, stay tuned with the NEET world, like, share and subscribe.